an original MCM production.
And now to introduce our program today, we have Jeff Fleming, President, Kingston Crossing. Jeff?
I've really been looking forward to this day. It's a great honor to be able to kick off the Rotary Person of the Year ceremony. We have had this year a remarkable assembly of nominees, any one of whom would have been an appropriate Rotary Person of the Year honoree. We have a committee that spent a lot of time being thoughtful and dedicated in reviewing the nominations, and we met a number of times and carefully considered all of those whose names were submitted. I want to, at this stage, thank the committee members for the efforts that they put into naming the Rotary Person of the Year. Sister Edna Lonergan is the Milwaukee Rotary Person of the Year. She is an amazing person. She is a nurse, an occupational and massage therapist, and a gerontologist. And she's so much more as a visionary, a leader, and a passionate advocate. It is impossible to think about St. Anne's Centers without thinking about Sister Edna. She introduced dementia-specific daycare here and brought intergenerational care to Milwaukee. With her staff, and generous donors, she has built the St. Anne's Stein campus on the south side, and now the Bucyrus campus on North Avenue. The Milwaukee Rotary Person of the Year Award is a unique honor. It is not a recognition of good works, although Sister Edna would certainly qualify under that criterion. As President Dan details in the upcoming video, the Person of the Year Award focuses on professional accomplishments of the award winner, and specifically how the winner has applied his or her professional activities to better our community. Sister Edna has taken good ideas and made them into ongoing enterprises. She has taken the concept of recognizing the humanity of every individual and turned that into real human connections. Others have more to say, and with that, I'll turn to the videotape.
There's so much about Sister Edna to talk about. She has an incredible vision. It's an incredible vision that's powered by her faith. Her dedication to the mission at St. Anne's is incredible.
The Rotary Person of the Year Award recognizes individuals, executives, and entrepreneurs who, through their profession, are making the Milwaukee community a better place to live and work. The purpose of this award is to highlight the second objective of Rotary, to foster high ethical standards in business and professions, to recognize the worthiness of all useful occupations, and to dignify each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care provides community-based care for people of all ages and disabilities. So that will include some medical care, early childhood education, anything that a child or an adult might need that would help them stay in their own communities with their own families and go home and sleep in their own bed at night.
Her vision is very unique. She was the first person really to come up with the whole concept of intergenerational care, and she proved that working together with challenged adults and younger children really had a very positive impact on their well-being. What she does is very special.
Well, we started out with adult daycare initially back in 1983. And, as we grew, I hired more women to help care for our clients, and most of them were single moms And when their children were home from school, I lost my staff. So I thought, well, why not bring them with you? So then magic happened, and you could just see the camaraderie and the playfulness and the willingness on the part of older adults to want to do more. It was good for the children, it was good for the adults, so I thought, well, when we build or when we expand, it would be an intergenerational daycare. I did tool around the country and looked at many organizations that claimed to be intergenerational, but wasn't quite what I was looking for. So I went back and decided we had to design this facility ourselves.
So as a baby mom, I knew about the St. Anne Center, and we were on the wait list, and my husband passed away. And my parents decided to move to Bayview to help me raise my son. And my dad at that point had been diagnosed with Lewy bodies dementia. My mom was caring for both my father and my almost 1-year-old son at the time and needed help. And she decided that the St. Anne Center was not only a place, that I had been looking at for my son, but was a place that would be appropriate for my dad to come.
And it was Sister Edna who stepped in, looked at our situation and said, these folks need help. She's the one who got the ball rolling to get Oliver into daycare, which saved both Megan and I.
Being around adults and being around other children helps with the social aspects, because you're learning how to interact appropriately with different age people, and different ability people too.
So our children, their socialization skills have far exceed because of the presence of the older adults. And I thought, why not have that everywhere?
And Sister Edna approached me, actually, it was probably 7 or 8 years ago, and said the north side needs what we have on the south side. 53206 is the most impoverished zip code in this area and, quite frankly, the United States. So to do something in that zip code and to try to revitalize that neighborhood and help those people in that area was critically important.
And we're already seeing more development, more positive development along that strip.
We're already accomplishing a lot of the goals that we set out to achieve back 4 or 5 years ago. So we'll get there. We'll get there. We need some help, and obviously it's a work in process. But it's a mission that really deserves the full attention and support of the Milwaukee community.
Most of our staff on the Bucyrus campus were hired from the neighborhood, and we made that promise when we built it. And we are inviting at least the top 20 best business plans from the neighborhood to come and show their business plan to investors, lawyers, anyone that can help them realize those business dreams.
Thank heavens Sister Edna came up with this idea. We help each other, we get better together. We grieve together, we have joy together. So it was the right place for us at the right time.
I think she deserves every bit of recognition that she can get. I mean, what she has done for the city of Milwaukee and for really care of individuals and really being on the cutting edge of intergenerational care. Yeah, it's about time, we really recognize that in Milwaukee and give her the type of recognition that she, so justly deserves.
Her work is work that is so important to the community. Just to watch that in action every day is a wonderful experience for me.
You watch something like that and you have to be impressed about the impact that one person can have. And I'll say that this is, and I told Sister Edna this before, and I'm not sure she believed me, but I think this is one of the highlights of my year, is to have the opportunity to present this award. This award goes to anybody who meets the criteria. It's not just a Rotary member. And so she was selected, and you can certainly see why she was. So I'm very honored to present the 2016 Rotary Person of the Year Vocational Recognition Award to Sister Edna.
is your award. It's something big. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure you don't drop it.
You're going to have me in tears, and I'm not going to be able to say anything. Anyway, you know, any one of you could be standing up here, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I know that I belong to a club of very outstanding, talented men and women. And of course, you're also incredibly kind. So thank you. I have, before we start, I know they were introduced, but I would like to just mention a few people that have been a big part of all these developments. And there are several members of our board here. So I would like to introduce you again to Jim Gormley, who was on the tape, but he's also our chair board. And you probably remember way back Camille Klebine, Sister Camille. She was also, I think, president of this Rotary Club. She was our first chair of our board back in 1983. And then there's Reverend Joseph Jackson and Craig Mackus, who former chair of our board, Ron Malone, Jackie Herb Barber, who's a member of this club, Stephanie Cogello, who was a board member, and now she's co-director of the new medical clinic at the Bucyrus campus. And then two people here from the Capital Campaign Committee are Doug McNeil and Al Bathrick. So yeah, you can stand, Al and Doug. Sure. And then Diane Beckley, who is the new Chief Operating Officer at the Bucyrus Clinic and Bucyrus campus and doing a great job. And John Glazer, who's our investment officer for many, many years. And John Jansen, who's our grant manager. And I hope I didn't miss anyone. Oh, Tony Phillips, he's our HR person. He's also Pastor Tony Phillips at Blessed Deliverance Church, which is across the street from us. So we're very pleased to have all you here. Thank you. Okay. I'm grateful for this opportunity to talk to you about intergenerational care that's community-based and serving people of all ages. Because I really, truly believe that if we would have St. Anne's Center or something like it in every neighborhood in the United States, we could save billions, and I mean billions, in healthcare costs. Why are we paying out $350 to $400 a day to care for someone or institutionalizing someone when most of us don't need 24 hours of skilled care in our lifetime? We just need really good care during the day from 6 to 6, and that cost $52.72. It's a little different, yes. So besides the importance of the economic opportunity that St. Anne's affords this nation, we also offer great services. But back in 1983, I was director of rehabilitation for the Sisters of St. Francis of Assisi, and I noticed the wonderful care that our sisters received, and they never had to be uprooted from all that was familiar to them. And I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could open this up to the elderly in the neighborhood? And so we did. We got a $21,000 grant to take care of 11 people, and that would take care of about one person nowadays. But we took care of 11 people, but it grew. The idea was so popular, it just grew rapidly. And so then I had to hire more staff. And as I said in the video, many of them were parents of children, and when the children were home from school, I lost the staff. And so what happened was I just really needed to have a better organization, a stronger organization, and so forth. And we had one individual that had grand mal seizures. And every day this person came, there was always the threat of a grand mal seizure starting. And we had a little girl by the name of Kathy who was 3 years old and had been coming to us since she was 1. And I was standing next to Frank and his grand mal seizures started. And little Kathy jumped up on his lap, gave him a big hug, and all his symptoms stopped. I knew then that if we were going to build a stronger organization, that it was going to be intergenerational. But I knew nothing about starting an intergenerational daycare. I knew nothing about childcare. So I went, and as the video said, went around the country and took a look at other organizations that were in intergenerational in nature, but I found none that really envisioned what we wanted to do. And so I came home rather disappointed, and I went to the staff and said, we're going to have to build anew. And so it took us 4 years. And then we built St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care on the Stein campus in the city of St. Francis. And that grew and grew. So we had multiple services, and the idea was to build this whole wraparound system of care that would take care of whatever a person might need on a daytime basis. So we have medical care, we have nursing care, we have PT, OT, speech therapy, music therapy, art, ceramics, all the services that can take care of an individual but also create a lot of fun. So we designed adult daycare on one side, child care on the other side, and this glass enclosed park where children and adults can enjoy one another. You know what it's like just to sit in a park and watch a child play. It's a lot of fun. Well, being part of their life is even greater fun. You teach them how to bake, teach them how to fish, teach them how to golf, and all the fun things that a child needs to learn, and that the older adult is enriched by the presence of that older adult. So then we started an overnight respite, because people said to us, well, what happens when I get sick? I really want to take care of Tony or Greg or wherever, but what happens if I get sick? What happens if I need to go out of town? What happens if I need a little break? And so we built an overnight respite. So this loved one can stay up to 28 days, and we can serve skilled care and so forth and take care of them. And that works also. So as the needs arose, we kept on adding more services. And today we have replicated that. And now we have built a replication manual, a replication model that can be replicated throughout the United States. I want to show you just a brief video that now envelops both sides, both the north and south side, and why we started on the south side, and the north side as well.
Lori, what's it like when you're not at St. Anne's Center?
I feel lonely, empty inside, because I want people around.
But worst of all, said the boy, it seems grown-ups don't pay attention to me. And he felt the warmth of his wrinkled old hand. I know what you mean, said the little old man.
What if no one had to be alone? What if friendship was easy? If I say differences will make us strong, would you really believe me? What if no one had to be alone? What if friendship was easy? If I say differences will make us strong, would you really believe me?
These are the daughters and sons, together older and young, forever different yet one. That's why it's special and fun. The children learn to accept the way the world hasn't yet, and the adults find purpose in the children they've met. It's in the birthday parties, the bowling, the singing songs. It's the learning that happens in these moments that make us strong. It's the friendships that make the loneliness disappear, and there's a lot of that loneliness disappearing here.
As an 80-some-year-old guy, I could sit and watch kids this age for an hour. They're beautiful. Look at them.
If you would be an animal, what animal would you be?
I like to be an eagle. I can soar and fly. How about yourself?
A lion.
You would be the queen of the jungle, right?
Yep.
There's nothing that I don't like about this place. It's a place where I could keep getting better.
They care for me from the bottom of their heart.
I like it here. It's hacky here. Talk to my friends and sit by them for lunch. I like to come here.
My favorite band is My Morning Jacket.
Berkeley, I never heard of that. Did you ever hear of the Beach Boys?
Yes, I've seen a movie about that.
There is so many reasons why older adults need this place. They need to be someplace where they know they will be needed. They know they will be cared for and they will be loved.
What if no one had to be alone? What if friendship was easy? If I say differences will make us strong, would you really believe me? What if no one had to be alone? What if friendship was easy? If I say differences will make us strong, would you really believe me?
Well, I love seeing the kids, and interacting with them because I'm a mom.
The children, they will enhance the life of the older adult by their presence. You see it happen every moment of every day.
May I have a hug? Okay, I love you.
Six years ago, a mother came in and she dropped off her 3-year-old at daycare. And she was running out. She says, I'm in a hurry, but I gotta stop and tell you this story. And she said, I took my daughter Audrey to McDonald's last night, and we were eating supper there. And then we were the only ones in the restaurant. And in walks an elderly couple, and the gentleman had very severe tremors, possibly Parkinson's or something like that. But anyway, they sat down and they started to eat. And the little girl, little Audrey, age 3, got up out of her chair without any prompting, walked over to the elderly gentleman and shook his hand. And the wife started to cry. And she said to the mother, why is it that your child is not afraid? I can never take my husband anywhere where children are not afraid of him. She said because she has been exposed to this all her life. Can you imagine all our children growing up in a very rich environment with this great diversity of culture, great diversity of abilities, great diversity of age, great diversity of religion? Just think of what that would do to our nation if our children grew up in such a rich, diverse culture like that. Little Audrey. Generations United out of Washington, D.C. said that children that are in an intergenerational preschool are 11 months ahead socially. I know teachers have said you can tell the children that come from St. Anne's. They're so prepared socially. This can happen anywhere. And so 6 years ago, I said to myself, we really need to replicate St. Anne's. So I thought, well, I always believe that if you put a thought out there, an idea out there, and it starts coming together, you know it's something perhaps God wants. And so I thought, oh, I feel so safe and secure with this present adult daycare. Isn't that enough? But anyway, it kept on itching me. I just had to put it out there. So I did. And so I talked to the board, and they said, well, we don't have any money, but you can look around. So I did. And Tim Sullivan and I went and talked to Rocky Marcoux and the mayor, and he said, yeah, we'll give you some land. And of course, it is the poorest area of the city, which is what we asked for. The poorest area of the city was this 53206. Still, we didn't have any money. And then 2 days later, a friend of mine walked in and gave me a check for $2 million. He says, there's no strings attached. You do whatever you want with it. Well, of course. What are we going to do? We're going to build another St. Anne Center. But I'm so glad that we went to this 53206 area, because it is not only well needed, but it's a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood, and it gets a very bad rap. It is 49.1% below the poverty level. The poverty level in our state is 12.1%. What's wrong with this picture? 62% of the male in that community have been incarcerated by age 34. The second highest reason for death among the older teenagers is suicide. The infant mortality rivals that of third world countries, and I have been to the third world countries many times. Sometimes I would rather leave my child in their village than in 53206 area. It is a beautiful neighborhood, though. When you study it, it is rich in talent and rich in hopefuls, and they want all the same things we do. We want good schools for our children. We want good daycare. We want a place, if my husband or my wife or my parent gets Alzheimer's disease, I want some place to put that person that will get good care so I can go off to work and not have to worry about them. Well, you can come into St. Anne's and you can leave off your child and you can leave off mom or dad, and we'll take good care of them so you can safely go to work. And we did a neighborhood survey, and 2 things they asked of us. They said, when you build it, would you allow us to help you build it? So we did. We had 40% minority participation, but you have to really push for it. Then they said, would you hire us? Would you hire from the neighborhood? So 97% of those who work at the Bucyrus campus on the north side are from the neighborhood. This is what we need to continue to do. We need to continue to provide a strong infrastructure so these people can go to work. We also need to provide opportunity for education, for jobs. And so we're going to do this incubator business development. And we've invited investors, lawyers, business people, successful business people to come and help here 20 entrepreneurs from that neighborhood talk about their business dreams. Because, you know, I went to Coffee Makes You Black, and if you've never been there, go there. And I listened to Bradley Thurman, the developer of Coffee Makes You Black, and a very successful developer in that neighborhood, and he has never, ever been able to get a loan. No matter how successful he is,
He's never been able to get a loan. He says it's because I'm black and because I'm from 53206. There are so many investors coming and bankers and lawyers to hear these 20 people. They're going to talk about their business plans, and some of them are the most creative plans I've ever heard. I'd back them if I had the money. There is a lot of talent in that neighborhood. And another thing we're going to do is build a band shell. It's going to be a gorgeous band shell so that we can hear the talent in that neighborhood. Because there are artists, there's musicians, there's poets, there's children's drama, and then there's the beautiful ministries. Almost every other week, I go to one of their churches and listen to their ministries. There's a strong, strong faith there. I just went to Tony Phillips, a Baptist church. What a faith. Faith, the power of faith in that church. It was amazing. So there is much to do in our community. I am so happy to belong to this Milwaukee community because they really are coming forward. They are really helping, and it is a success story. In a year from now, we're going to have a World Summit, and we are inviting people from all over the world because they're coming anyway. They're coming from Denmark, they're coming from Japan, they're coming from China. They're coming to hear what we're doing because it works. It is successful. And it is a lot more reasonable. And it is what our older adults want. And it is what's good for children. So I invite you to come and see St. Anne's. And I thank all of you in the room that in any way have helped us. Thank you for this award. Thank you for hearing me out. Appreciate it.
You know, we start every meeting talking about leaders making a difference. I think we could not have a better example than Sister Edna, an example for us all. Also, think about the Rotary International theme for this year. Be a gift to the world. Use yourself to be a gift to the world. Again, I think Sister Edna exemplifies that for us all. So thank you so much for your leadership, your vision, and all that you've accomplished and all that you will accomplish for the city of Milwaukee and the children, the parents, the grandparents, and everybody that makes use of the facilities there. We're all so lucky to have you. So a special thanks to Jack Glowinski for producing our video. Stand up there, Jack, so people know who you are. He produced the video for St. Edna. Sister Edna. Jack just graduated from Marquette University this past May, so we wish you the very best, Jack, in your future endeavors. With that, we're adjourned.
An MCM production.